So at the time of recording this video, we are officially 4 days away from the free preview weekend for Marathon. And Bungie is ramping up the marketing. We've seen 18 minutes of official gameplay. We've seen details about the type of consumables in the game. We've seen a lot of information. We also have some information about what the looting system is going to be like and what types of things we'll be looting in Tau Ceti. As we all know, for extraction shooters, the most important part is looting and how detailed the looting system is. So in this video, we're going to get into some details about what we know about the looting system from players who have participated in prior playtests. But before we get into all that, hello, my name is Topaz TV, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're not new here, welcome back. And here on this channel, I cover all the news, patch notes, updates, gameplays, and analysis for your favorite FPS and shooter games. So if you like anything about this video at any point, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you really like this video and if you're into FPS and shooter games, definitely subscribe as I post here once a week. So without further ado, let's get into the loot system for Marathon. So this information that I found comes from a Reddit post, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know how much information is actually on Reddit. I don't use Reddit too often, but now I'm realizing it's another great resource and a great way to actually keep up with gaming. So this is where I found this post titled, "What is the loot?" And I also linked this post in the description, so you can also go and read it for yourself as well. And this post comes from someone named Maxil Amador, and they say, "For those of you that have played any of the playtests, what exactly are you picking up on the map? What are we looting, and what is the point of the loot? The gunplay and environments look awesome, but as someone with only arc raiders as a point of reference for extraction shooters, I'm wondering what the items on the map crafting is like. Is there any crafting, breaking down of items for components? Let's say I want to be a rook or rat a bit. How engaging is it to sneak around and loot and extract?" And this is a really good question, because if you've been playing arc raiders as much as I have, you know the looting system and crafting system is very detailed in that game. So what's going to be the difference between arc raiders and Marathon? And if we scroll down a little bit, we have a reply from Ronan the Accuser, who possibly participated in some of the playtests and can give a little bit of information about the looting system. And they say, "You are picking up weapons and gear related to your loadout first and foremost. You will also be looking for items specifically curated for each faction, whether it is to upgrade the faction or use to barter items." So what we know about the faction systems is that we will be doing contracts for each faction depending on which faction you decide to be a part of. And for looting, you might have to find specific items for those factions in order to upgrade them. And it seems like from what Ronan is saying is that the main focus of looting is definitely going to be weapons. There are also items like keys that you can bring into another run, which I'm going to assume is going to be for locked rooms. Similar to arc raiders, you need a special key in order to get into some of the locked rooms. Every other item is not used for loadout, upgrading, or bartering, will be auto sold upon extraction. So it's seeming like there's an auto sell system, which is actually very cool because it just kind of makes going through your loadout and what you bring back a lot easier. Because if you know in arc raiders, you kind of have to think about what to sell and what to buy versus a auto sell system that just sells everything that you really don't need. It is very beneficial to be sneaky as any runner, especially as rook. The thing is, just like arc raiders, your extraction is broadcasted across the whole map via a beam of light that's shooting into the sky, making a sneaky extraction almost impossible unless you sprint into someone else's extraction at the end of the countdown timer, which is very fun but risky. And that's very cool. That's very important information. So it's seeming like with Marathon, while there's not as much crafting and breaking down items like in arc raiders, it's mostly focused on the build crafting. So the makeup of the runner that you're using. So you're going to be looting things like the weapon mods, the cores, the implants, all those things that help you make your runner stronger. So it's not so much of looting materials to build things, because you won't be really building weapons. You'll just be kind of looting weapons. And if we scroll down a little bit further, the original poster, who is Maxell, says it seems the loot loop is really designed to get you build crafting, which is fun. So yes, this is more catered towards building up your runner and making them stronger each time you go into a run. So that way you're more likely to survive and you're more likely to make it out with the maximum amount that you can. Because again, Marathon is going to be way more heavily PvP. Even with the proximity chat, like I've been saying in prior videos, there's not going to be too much talking in this game. It's really going to be an action game, like shoot on sight, like less of a role-playing game, more of a battle royale style, even though it's not a battle royale. And because it's more focused on build crafting, maximizing how much you extract with is important, because it's seeming like in Marathon, you're gonna have to use your in-game money to buy things. Like you're gonna have to buy the implants, you're gonna have to buy cores, you're gonna have to buy mods, like you're gonna have to spend money. It's not like Arc Raiders where you have seeds and you can craft your whole you can craft your whole loadout. You're gonna have to invest in your builds and invest in your runners to make them stronger. So it's more of a buying system, and like these posters are saying in here, bartering, so trading things for the things that you need. And if we scroll down a little bit more, we can find a little bit more information. There's a post here from BMO28 that says, kind of piggybacks off of what Ronan was already saying up there. You are mostly looking for certain resources for your faction upgrades. Obviously guns, bags, which are the backpacks, shields, weapon attachments, mods, cores, and other miscellaneous usables to help you survive and make builds. There is also valuables that I believe auto sell, as you will need to have a decent income since you can't craft and will need to purchase or find your gear. Exactly. So there's crafting, but there's build crafting. So basically, like in Arc Raiders, you go to the traders if you want to buy things. So in this game, it's just all traders, hypothetically, right? So you're just gonna have to buy your stuff. So this game is really gonna be about grinding that in-game money, because you're really gonna need it in order to really progress. So I think this is all really good to know. Now again, this is information from folks who have played the playtest. Again, by the time we get the actual game, some things might have changed. You never know, but it's seeming like this is how the loot system is going to be working. You're going to be mainly just looting things that's going to make you stronger in game, and it's more so focused on, like I said, building up your runners, upgrading your factions, upgrading your weapons to make them stronger, and upgrading your runner in order to be able to be more survivable. And I think this is where Bungie has been talking about why there's going to be like so many ways to like mod your weapons and also mod your runners. There's probably going to be hundreds, if not, it could be thousands of ways to like build your character and build your guns. I know they did say, I forget if it was in the docuseries. Yeah, in the docuseries, they said that there's possibly over 400 ways to mod your weapons, and that's a lot. So you're going to be able to build, like, you're going to be able to have so many builds in this game, and each of them are going to act differently. So it's going to make each run feel like new and very fresh, which is actually very exciting. So that is really cool. The more information I find out about Marathon, the more excited that I get. So like I said, get ready to lock in. Again, the playtest begins on February 26th and goes all the way through March 2nd. So leave a comment. Actually, I would love to know in the comments. Let me know if you participated in any of the playtests for Marathon. I'm really interested in knowing what your experience was like, and drop a comment if you are excited for release. And like I said, I'll see you in Tau Ceti this weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.